kids! I wanted to have an important discussion today, about something I think is a pretty nifty topic, and I think you'll like it too. Yep. So we often ask ourselves, why on earth are we buying these barbaric relics of the past that they call precious metals? And we're going to talk about that once I get done cooking my breakfast. The truth, cool kids, is that the reason we're stacking these precious metals, there's a few reasons you could. And actually, we're going to make this a Silver University class. Yay! Yay, Silver U! Yay, Silver U! Doody-doody-doody-doo! It's Silver, Silver U! Woo! So, basics. Why stack precious metals? What is it about precious metals that makes them alluring as a store of value? Notice I didn't say investment. An investment grows in value. Okay? And there are times when precious metals grow in value, but they don't pay dividends, and they don't garner their value, theoretically anyway, based on some new and fun product or market something in the market that's affecting it other than supply and demand, because it is a commodity. Silver is. Gold's a commodity too, but to a much different extent. So I guess what I'm saying is it's nuanced and complex, but the reason we stack is not. And the reason we stack is because silver has been money since basically humanity has recorded history. So you are investing in history, and you are buying something with intrinsic value. And it's something that's had intrinsic value since the dawn of recorded time. So, that music's a little loud. It's just a little loud. Finny, come here, baby. Where's your toy? Anyway, so, yeah, I like these little chats we have when I get home from work. So when you're buying an ounce of silver, okay, what you're actually doing is you're actually storing the value of a finite resource that is desirable. Okay? So, a finite resource that is desirable. So there's only so many silver atoms on our world. You have wisely, in my opinion, chosen, assuming you get it at the right price point, to transfer your time, your resources, into a fungible and holdable asset. Something you can touch. It's tangible. It's real. This is real. Okay? Now, I'm going to give you a couple factoids that you may not know, and that aren't advertised in our schools anymore. So the first thing I want you to know is that our money isn't money at all. Yeah, a Federal Reserve note is not money. By definition, it is a currency. But a currency cannot be money in and of itself. A money can be a currency, but a currency cannot be a money necessarily. It's not mutually exclusive. So you can be both, but you are not inherently both. What is the difference between money and currency? Well, money has intrinsic value, and we just talked about that. Silver has intrinsic value. This is both money and currency, although it's not recognized as currency right now because it's considered obsolete. But the truth is, this sixpence has more value than its equivalent today, just in the fact of its purchasing power. Although Australia went to dollars, this is about the size of a 10-cent coin. It's a little bigger, actually. Fair bit bigger, but not. We're going to go with it. So this is a 10-cent coin, but, well, you see what I paid for it, $2, and that was probably a bargain. So you can already see that the silver in this coin is worth more than the equivalent coin being made today. There's several examples of this. We could go on and on and on, but you got to understand that inflation has kicked up. So what is inflation? Well, inflation is a loss in the purchasing power of the coins or bills that you're using, the fiat currency. So what is fiat? Well, fiat means that it's by mandate. So it's fiat currency because the government states it must be. Okay? They mandate it. By government order, it is considered to be currency. But it is not money. And it is a debt instrument. In other words, for every dollar in fiat created, right, more debt is created. And eventually, more dollars are created, and on and on. It's a vicious cycle until finally you reach a point where that fiat currency collapses. And this has been done throughout history. This is a demonstrable phenomenon. This has happened every time fiat is tried. You can look actually at the debasement of the Roman denarius. An excellent early example of precisely what we're talking about here. The Roman, and actually this coin here is a decent example. You see this coin? Did you notice the difference between this coin and the first coin I was showing? Let me get that. We'll look at this. And then we'll get back to the denarius. These coins do not have the same ASW. And if you've been watching Silver University long enough, you'll understand what ASW is. It's literally just the number of troy ounces this coin represents. Now, do you see the difference? They are the same denomination. But what a difference 35 years makes. The British Empire debased their currency. And eventually they had to debase it everywhere, even in Australia. Australia was a holdout, though, compared to, say, New Zealand or the UK. The point being, this debasement eventually led to a complete and total lack of any money, any intrinsic value in the coins, except the metal they're made out of, which I will admit there is a little bit of intrinsic value. A lot of people, they want to say that it has none. It does. That's not true. Copper and nickel have an intrinsic value. It's just significantly less than the face value of the coin in most cases, the exceptions being the nickel and the copper 1 cent coin. But recently, zinc actually went up high enough for a zinc penny, that's a penny after 1982, to be intrinsically worth its value. So those coins are actually better, than my point here, those coins are actually better to keep than the dollar bills or the 20 or the 100. You would rather have $100 in pennies, or 1 cent coins, let's be technical. They're not actually pennies. You would rather have that when things go bad than the actual bills, because those coins can be used as washers, spacers, means of trade because they have an intrinsic value. And the fact that you can use them as washers or spacers, which, by the way, if you ever worked on an old house, you might actually find some old 1-cent coins as spacers in the door jambs and places like that. It's really interesting. Or they might have holes in them. Or I've seen people use a zinc cent. Hold that thought, the steak's done. I've actually seen people use zinc cents as bases for their miniatures when they make paper miniatures. So, I mean, there's so many uses for these coins. Well above any use for a bill. So I would say if you're going to collect the fiat of today, the coins are the way to go. The only problem with that is the storage space, right? Storage space is rough on 1-cent coins. Storage space is rough even on the 5-cent coins. But the 5-cent coins, in my opinion, are where it's at. That's just my opinion. But we're getting back to this. Intrinsic value. So, this is money. It's been money for 5,000 years. It will never be worth zero. And don't think of buying this in dollars. I know that sounds crazy, but and people say it all the time, and it's kind of a cliche. Think of it as hours you've worked, right? So let's see what we paid for this. This particular coin, we paid, $15.64. Well, let's say I make $15.64 an hour. That's just a hypothetical number we're going to throw out there. Okay. 14 cents. Sorry. Anyway, this would represent 1 hour of my labor, 1 hour of my life. Well, what else would this represent? Well, its purchasing power is roughly that of a sirloin steak dinner. So, this 1 hour of my life could get me a steak dinner. This will always get me a steak dinner. Okay? I will always be able to get a sirloin steak dinner with this amount of silver, save a few rare exceptions. Okay? If that changes, then you need to be buying silver because it's really cheap. So if this or this cannot get you a steak dinner, then you need to be buying silver. If this cannot get you a tank of gas, you need to be buying silver. I'm not giving investment advice, I'm just giving my personal opinion, okay? If this cannot buy you those things, then it's undervalued. Another thing to look at is the gold to silver ratio. But this video has already gone on long enough, and I want to eat my steaky wakes. I cooked a filet while we were doing this, and Eva is excited because she can smell it. And Finn, that dog eats better than most people I know. Trust me. Thanks for watching. I hope this helped. Why are we stacking the metals? We're stacking the metals because the metals are money. They are not a concept or a digital. Oh, that was the other thing I wanted to cover real quick. Digital. Most dollars, I'm going to go like that, because dollar comes from taller, which is a 0.86 something ounces of silver. So when we call a dollar, it's really a bastardization of the entire concept of the whole thing. It's a sick, horrible thing to call it. But anyway, that's just one man's opinion. The dollar most dollars are digital. They don't even exist in the real world. Everybody talks about these cryptocurrencies. Well, other than the government control, which is only, partial because the Federal Reserve plays a major role and it's not actually part of the government. So, and I'm giving you guys a lot of information really quick here. But, down and dirty, most dollars do not exist. What? Yeah, I know. You don't believe me. But after you watch this video, you're going to look it up and you're going to see that I'm exactly right. Most dollars do not exist. They in no way, shape, or form exist. They do not exist. They are purely 100% digital. Okay? And that is not good. Okay? If you believe that sound money is important. I will leave it at that. So currency is not money. Currency is not wealth. Wealth, true wealth, cannot be created it can be destroyed, but it is not created willy-nilly. True wealth is a painting, a yacht, a silver coin, a gold coin, a mountain of zinc pennies and 1 cent coins. That would be wealth. That'd be real wealth. If you had a freaking mountain of zinc, that would have intrinsic value. What would a mountain of $1 fiat currency bills do for you if no one's taking them? I'll leave you on that thought. Have an amazing day. Remember, when you're buying this stuff, you're betting against the fiat. You're betting against the money changers. You're betting against our overlords, the international banking cartels. And they don't like that, by the way. And well, we'll talk about that in another video. Guys, take care. Find all the collectibles of your dreams while you're awake. If you don't find them, don't blame me. I am trying to show them to you. I'm trying to show you the way. All right? And I want you to be good to each other. Be good to yourselves. Get the good stuff like this. Yeah. And thank you so much for watching the channel and Silver University. We are going to learn together how to make the world a better place. Ta-ta for now. Steak time!